Logical, or the Boolean operators, are used to check conditions between operands, or expressions. Logical operators can be unary or binary. It responds to the computer as a true or false value. In C++, as we already know, true value is represented by 1, and false value by 0. There are three logical operators: the AND operator, the OR operator, and the NOT operator. For example, look at this statement. If age is greater than or equals 18, and age less than or equals 25, then print name. It simply prints the name of persons whose age is from 18 to 25, inclusive of both 18 and 25. Now let's look into first of the three logical operators. The AND operator, represented by two ampersands. The AND is a binary operator that checks if both the conditions are true. If any one of the condition goes wrong or false, then final result will be false or 0, otherwise, 1 is returned. Following list shows the result of AND operator for two conditions. Here, conditions are the operands A and B. If both A, B are true, then A and B is true, else all other conditions are false. Note that the AND operator functions like multiplication. Let's check the first row. Since A is true or 1, and B is also true or 1, then A and B would mean 1 multiplied by 1, which is 1. 1 means true. So, the result of A and B is true. Similarly, when A is true or 1, and B is false or 0, A and B is 1 multiplied by 0, which is 0 or false. Next, A is false, and B is true. So it's 0 multiplied by 1, which is 0. So the result is false or 0. And finally, when both A and B are false, it's 0 multiplied by 0, which is 0 or once again, false. The OR operator, represented by two vertical bars or pipes. OR is a binary operator that checks conditions where any one of the condition has to be satisfied. If any one condition is satisfied or is true, 1 is returned, otherwise 0 is returned. The following list shows result of OR operator for two conditions. If either A, B are true, then A or B is true. Else the condition is false. Note that the OR operator functions like addition. Let's check the first row. Since A is true, that is, 1, and B is also true, or 1, then A or B would mean 1 plus 1, which is 2. 2 is greater than 0, and that means true. So, the result of A or B is true. Similarly, when A is true and B is false, A or B is 1 plus 0, which is 1, or true. Next, A is false and B is true. So it's 0 plus 1, which is 1. So the result is true, or 1. And finally, when both A and B are false, it's 0 plus 0, which is 0 or false. The NOT operator, represented by the exclamation mark. The NOT is a unary operator that inverts its Boolean value. If the condition is satisfied or true, then it returns false. If condition is not satisfied or false, it returns true. Let's look at a few examples. Not 5 equals 5. Here, it's checked if 5 is equal to 5. Since yes, 5 is equal to 5, it returns true. The not inverts this true value. And the final answer is false, or 0. Not 6 less than, or equal to, 4. Less than equals checks if 6 is less than, or equal to 4. No. So it returns false. The not inverts it. Final answer is true, or 1. Not true. Since true is 1, the not operator inverts it to false, or 0. Not false. Since false is 0, the not operator inverts it to true, or 1.